shit. You just busted a nut.
Is it still doing it? Hold on a second. This is kind of, it's a little weird, but I like it. Is my mic? Sounds like it's a little better. Let me see. I think my mic just needs to be fully. Hold on. One sec. Carlos? I don't need your commentary, cat. Is that better? I was talking for a minute or so. Okay, one thing. I said thank you to Ice Juice for the $9.99. I appreciate it. My Christmas was fine. I was explaining how I was actually sick, like leading up to Christmas, like the few days, like 22nd or 23rd. I got sick, and then it was like the second half of Christmas Eve. I was kind of recovering for the, like kind of coming out of it. Oh, let me silence my stream. Does it sound good though? There we go. Okay. Is it good now? I want to make sure it's not all funky. Turn my music back on. Is that all good? It's not all funky anymore? Seems it's fine. I was explaining how I was actually sick. Yeah, it sounds fine now. Like leading up to Christmas, like a few days, like 22nd or 23rd. Yeah, I think it's fine now. But yeah, I was a bit sick because I was gonna stream on, I think it was the 23rd, but I didn't have the energy for it, so I ended up postponing it. And then it was about Christmas Eve that I started to really feel better, but I was not fully recovered. And then yesterday I was, for the most part, fine. And then I'm feeling pretty good and normal today. Let me post out and send out the stream real quick, and we'll get kind of talking. Does it sound? Oh, it was a little chunky for a second because when I put the playback to the stream, I don't know if it was just maybe something with the cord for my mic, because I unplugged it and then went and just refastened the ends, and it seems like it's working now. What's up, Gold? How's it going? Gold, though, did you watch the new Witcher? I'm upset, man. After like seeing everything that's come out over the last handful of months, it's just like they crashed that show real bad, real fast. I knew the second season felt a little weird because I didn't read the books, but it felt a little chunkily, like jarring and different than the first season, and I couldn't really tell. And I think it's just that inconsistent writing setup. Whatever. Gonna post this stream. I don't need a bunch of hashtags. But anyway, I mean, in general, we got some neat stuff going on with the different chapters. What's funny is, like, for Shonen Jump, it's been really weird lately for me for Shonen Jump. Part of it is because, like, usually, I feel like I just used to read a lot more in the manga. Part of it is because I'm nervous about any of the new series now. I'm trying not to get too in hopes of their survival. I like the Ginken and Luna series. It seemed fine so far. I like the nice visuals and the kind of like very odd reaches for their magic and stuff in the world. You miss Henry? Yeah, that like them getting Henry Cavill to pretty much just bow out was just enough for me to say, like, yeah, it probably isn't gonna stay going too well. And Henry Cavill laying out why, like, what was gonna be it for him to stay, and then obviously him leaving means, oh yeah, okay, what was his reason to stay? Oh, they wanted them to respect and go with the source material in the books of what the creator wanted, and they don't want to do that. So it's like, oh man, I wonder how many shows where they just completely disregard the source material and the creators and stuff and just do their own thing, like how often that goes well. And it's just, Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go well. Apparently it didn't. Well, I guess the first part, the Blood Origin, it's sad because I just watched that animated spin-off movie and I thought it was good, and then this one just looks annoying. But I could tell it was gonna suck when all the people that were like that video that's been going around on Twitter, and it's like, oh, what should people be hyped about? And it's just like them talking about like dudes kissing and sign language and the makeup and like wigs, and it's like, isn't this supposed to be like a story-driven series? Like, none of them talk about the story. It's just like, oh, we're gonna be looking at something that hasn't been explored anywhere before, so it's not in the books. So you're gonna make shit up, right? Is that it? It probably will flop without him. Blood Origin already has like gotten horrendous ratings, so I'm not gonna be too surprised if the normal Witcher series takes a nosedive and doesn't really last much longer, because it's like the stuff that obviously they want. Like I looked at some of the stuff that, you know, I don't know how much of it is legit, like the leaks of stuff like on the set and whatnot, and it, or like not on set, but it's like writing plans, and it's like they wanted to make Yennefer more of the main character. I was having a discussion with this the other day, and it's like Yennefer's character works because she is like an opposing force for Geralt, but if you just take out Geralt, it just makes Yennefer look like an asshole. Like, not even like a, oh yeah, it's a bad guy that I like. It's just like, it just looks like a twat who just fucking is never satisfied and is always just trying to get more, but always thinks that she deserves more and has to have it. It's like, it's annoying. Like, it's one of those ones that it doesn't work well if you don't have a balancing flow to that character. It's upset. Very upset about it. Yeah, the first Witcher season was really good. The second season I wasn't as big on, but it's like there was still stuff I liked. But apparently the reason it's like a lot of the stuff in the second season was, you know, kind of like choppier is parts where the writers for the show wanted to completely deviate from the books because they didn't like the books or the author or something, and so they were just kind of doing their own thing, and that's why you get stuff. Because I remember it's like I talked to Josuke about it. He said that like the one where that dude who's like cursed to be a pig dude in that castle, that's like one of the best stories in The Witcher, and they trimmed it up too much and they ruined it, and it's just like, that sucks. Yennefer's good as a character when it's like you get balanced with Geralt, because it's like, oh yeah, now you have a, you know, in general, kind of like their opposing personalities, the way that they go back and forth, but at the same time the way they you know, they sync. But if you, it's like why having how can I pronounce Jaskier? Can't pronounce the name right. Jaskier, the, you know, the bard. It's why it's like, oh yeah, you have Geralt, who's like super serious, doesn't talk a lot, is cold. You have a funny, you know, bard dude with him. It's the same reason of why they added Puck in Berserk for Guts. It's like characters who are like that are cool like Guts, but it's like adding something that adds a level of balance to the character, gives them more, there's like a little bit more kind of life to them, you know? It's like, you know, having it's one of the reasons I didn't like what happened with the Marvel movies when eventually everybody just became Iron Man and banter was the only joke. The setup for the story felt rushed and sloppy. That's the thing I don't get, though, is like it's been proven all they have to do is like set up the quality, and like people are fine waiting ultimately as long as it's good. And then it's like, but you rush it and it completely cripples the whole momentum of the project and pretty much the entire standing of it. It's like, I don't get why they do that, and then it completely dooms the everything. Because it's not like it's some random thing. Like it was just, oh, this was a small anime that randomly got picked up, or a small manga that randomly got picked up to be an anime. It was really good, but they messed up all the stuff in the production and whatnot, so the anime sucked or something. It's like, no, this is one of Netflix's main shows, and it's like, didn't they go for like 2 or 3 years for freaking Stranger Things? They couldn't have waited longer for The Witcher, and they already were waiting long enough for The Witcher, so it's like they could just keep going. Oh, Tartarus, you startled me for a second. Hi, buddy. What's up, Kenmano? I did have a good Merry Christmas. I hope you had a good Merry Christmas as well. How's Peaches? I don't mind Yennefer. My problem with Ciri was too childish. She kept making dumb decisions when she knew how bad shit could go. Ciri, the thing about Ciri that I wondered is, like, I felt like she should have been grouped up with Geralt a little earlier in season 1, and that way you could have got like any childish stuff out of the way in season 1, and then season 2 should have been more about kind of wringing that shit out. It's never easy for Guts. Yeah, but I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, though, for, like, characters. Like, even, it doesn't matter if you do, like, that darker type. It's always good when you have a character that works well with another character just to give that dynamic between the two of them. It just gives more life to the characters involved, rather than just, like, you know, one dude who's just doing one thing the whole time. Guts is cool because he has to work for his victories. I mean, Guts is cool in general, Tamba. I would live for Berserk series in style Castlevania. I would love that too. Also, the guy who did Castlevania talked about doing Berserk, but I still don't know if that's ever gonna happen. I was there when he was talking about it. That was a sick convention. See the new Seven Deadly Sins movie? It's pretty short, so I think they'll make another. I might check it out. I haven't watched it yet, because I want to check it out for any lore stuff, because I know it's canon. What are your hopes for Viernes? I got 2 ideas. I mean, my hopes for Viernes are pretty much sound as him being some form of psychotic alchemist. Like, I either want him to be kind of crazy, like a Mayuri-esque kind of psycho scientist, since the whole alchemy thing. Otherwise, I want him to be kind of more like a holy religious kind of bad guy. Because I really like that about Larcade, as Larcade was a villain, but it wasn't like how, I forgot his name. The priest in Berserk, how he's a priest, but he was clearly a wicked dude. He was evil. It's not like that. Larcade didn't act, like, malicious. Even when he was, like, killing people, it was done in more of a, like, holy, purifying kind of release tone and setup. And I really like that. So I'm hoping if we get a actual, like, set focus on that, and we have, like, a religious group almost as bad guys, or at least that's kind of how their mentality and the way they see things leads up to, I think that'd be sick. Plus, I think it'd actually be really cool if you combined alchemy with, like, the church. That would be badass, because, like, you know, you combine essentially magic science with like a group that doesn't, like, that generally is not associated with magic or science. I think that'd be pretty intense, actually. I mean, plus Viernes, I just can't wait to see what his general design is. Not for just, like, seeing its appearance. I want to see how Mishima depicts it in the first appearance of him, because I feel like that's got to set a good tone for him. I want to see something where it's like he's just on panel, everything around him is pretty much just white, and it's just light effects, whereas, like, all the rest of that stuff in the area you don't see. It's just like a shining, almost like if the sun was right there, not in heat, but just in like brilliance and light. I think that'd be pretty sick. Just, you know, visually. Imagine it's like, oh yeah, they're standing there, you have all the different terrain and stuff around them, but you don't, it just completely is out of sight. You only see light. I think something like that would be pretty cool. Oh, the Spirit Guardians? Spirit Guardians are bums, unfortunately. Father Mosgu, that's his name. Honestly, I don't think Mosgu is evil. I don't know about that. Like, there's a degree of just general activity where it's like, you gotta look at what you're doing, and there's no way that you don't see that as the bad guy. Like, the dungeons that they had when just kind of, like, for the most part, people not really doing too much, that's pretty evil. It's like because it's like, it's different if it's like, oh yeah, these were all these ex-sinners or, like, murderers or something, but it's like a lot of them didn't seem to really do anything. And I remember there being, like, you know, those scenes where it's like it would show them being, like, additionally cruel, and, like, people who are just, like, guilty of association. I remember stuff like that. So it's like stuff like that I definitely would put as a bad guy, as just outright an evil act. Because there's like perspective stuff, like, obviously, like, oh yeah, well, this is a different country, you know, these are our enemies, whatever. But it's like, then there's what I would see come down to, like, general human kind of more levels of humanity. It's like, once you kind of cross certain thresholds and barriers, it's just like, you're too far gone. You watched the Bleach episodes yet? Not yet. I'm letting them stack the fuck up. I'm letting them stack up. I'm not a fan. Here's why, and I'm gonna tell you. I'm not a fan of watching shows that I've read the manga on a weekly basis, because I'm going to end up watching. I'm going to get to a part where I don't want to watch, where it's like, oh, this part's not as hype for me. I'm bored. And then I'm going to end up going on like a 4 or 5 month hiatus. And I'd rather just watch it all in one go. Because like, I'm not missing anything. The only thing I would probably take time out to go watch is if they added like actual important additional stuff. I know that they've added bits like with the original captains, but like if we actually got like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a 3-episode flashback where we're gonna show all this, it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely jump on for that. But besides that, it's like I'd rather just wait since I've seen it all already. I'll probably check out for certain scenes. Well, no, because that'll ruin some of the hype too. Like I want to get to like when Renji gets his true Bankai, because even though Renji gets memed on, I was very happy that Renji got a solid, like, he got an unfair power-up, but, like, solid kind of, like, jump up for the end of the series. Made me a little sad, because I know his Bankai isn't the best. Like, it gets clowned on a lot, but design-wise, it's my favorite. Like, visually, it's my favorite. So you need to watch Bleach. Bleach is awesome. Because there's new Castlevania on the way. Is there? Is it a spin-off, or is it, like, a prequel or a sequel? And then about Fairy Tail, so, It's also the fact that Mishima also makes the men attractive as well. Also, he made, he said Gray's initial invention was because he wanted to have, like, a fan service character for the chicks. Mishima's all about that equality. What's up, Ashizura? I wasn't on the stream for so long. Really changed my whole personality. Well, Ashizura, I hope you're doing good. I hope he's, just as a pathetic prick, someone who doesn't care about anyone or anything else to be similar to, of argumentative character. Wait, what? What are you talking about? I feel like I missed something in here. Bleach is great, but I thought, oh yeah, the Chainsaw Man finale tomorrow is gonna be pretty hype. I'm actually looking forward to that. I'll probably watch that one later in the day, because like legit, I like watching I love watching new episodes of shows and stuff at night because I have a big TV. And if you know, turning off all the lights and you just have the one screen on, it's so much easier to get caught up in what's going on, and I love that. That's one of my favorite things about, like, because that's one of the things I want to do with Bleach too. As I want to just like sit down, and the only thing I'm going to be seeing is Bleach. I want to do that when 100 Years Quest anime comes out. I'm still wondering if by then if I'm gonna do reactions to the episodes. I think I probably will. Unless the anime is just a complete unfortunate animation style, then I probably, but I feel like they won't do that, I would assume. I would like to believe that they're going to be smart enough to know that, because, like, here's the thing. I'll say this real quick before I get back to comments. Fairy Tail's still going. Eden Zero is going to end soon. There's all these other shonens that are ending soon. We still have a good chunk of stuff. We still have I'd say at least 3 to 4, 5+ years of, maybe not 5, but like easily 3 to 4 years of 100 Years Quest. And then Mishima already talked about potentially doing a next gen series. So if they make the anime do well, then, like, you know, they give it good animation, because it should be seasonal. If they make it weekly, it's going to catch up too fast. Make it seasonal, and then do like 12 to 24 episodes for each of the Dragon Gods or each of the arcs, and then bam, you have a increase in 100 Years Quest sales. You'd have just backlog sales, and then it would set up good stuff for the future. And I'm gonna be waiting. I've expressed many times what scenes I'm looking forward to most in the 100 Years Quest anime, so we'll see when it gets down to it. You more femboys in Fairy Tail? Is Midnight your guy? What's up, Happy the Assassin? How are you doing? I'm about to write another character's prologue for my MC's rival. I've been looking actually at I've been actually working on some of my stuff again lately. I've just been coming up with some ideas I really liked. Castlevania would be a prequel, I'm pretty sure, and the Belmont family's at its height. Oh, that'd be pretty cool. I'll watch that. One thing I didn't like, but I got, that made sense, was, you know, we saw Dracula super nerfed. So I'd love to see it, like, where he was actually at his full power and doing stuff. And his output always amazed me. Mishima's a champ. And it's just like, well, the thing is, like, he is able to delegate all of his stuff really well, too. And he said that once he switched to digital art, he can finish a chapter in, like, 3 days. So as long as he has stuff planned, obviously, like I know Mishima's style. He has like a general web of what he wants to do, and then some things get changed in the process of as the chapters come out. But oh god, what was I saying? Eden Zero was a flop for Mishima. Not really. The anime's been doing pretty fair, and Mishima knew, and this is something a lot of people are aware of. A sci-fi series does better as an anime than a manga. The manga, I always knew the manga would have not be like a mega struggle, but I always knew it wasn't going to be like as big of a success as other series in terms of the manga, because a lot of the stuff that a sci-fi series gains a lot of their general value out of is stuff like visuals, obviously the stuff like the machines, the movement of machines, and robots, the space travel, like anything that goes into more of the spectacle of sci-fi, you're not gonna really get in a black and white manga. Like if it was a colored comic, we'd have a bit of a different conversation, but I think a black and white space comic is not gonna be as much of a grab as the anime, and I gotta wait to see more of how the anime does, because from what I've seen, every time the anime's, or not every time, the anime's been doing fine, to my knowledge. Can't wait for Viernes hype. I can't wait to see what exactly we're gonna find out from Celine, because the last chapter ended with Celine giving us a bit of info, so I assume that this next chapter is gonna be actually telling us about what Viernes is, what he's planning, what he's capable of. Once we actually see him just do some things, that's gonna be probably where the crazy Viernes hype is really going to be existent, because it's is he going to be kind of like someone like a Wraith, but obviously everybody can see him, so he can touch them, but they can't touch him? Because if he's going to be a being that both exists and doesn't exist at the same time, well maybe he'll be ethereal. Imagine he's kind of like Obito when he was in his, he's there, but he's actually in a different dimension. But it's oh yeah, he's there, but he can still cast spells and do attacks and alchemy from this ethereal form or something. I mean, not they're the same characters. Sam, I'm just gonna say right now, it's been years. I'm not gonna go into the same thing. If you make another comment like that, I'm just gonna time you out. It's been years, dude. The jokes aren't funny anymore. Is the funny thing to me is the dude, people who like Fate don't have to deal with this. And then it's the same thing I talked to Quan, is you have Percival look so much like Meliodas, and nobody said a thing. Nobody said a thing, but Mishima does anything and they bitch. The prologue is going to more into the power system. I have progressed in the power system, plot placement, and pacing is still a problem I'm worried about. I mean, honestly, it's gonna be tricky. I was doing some stuff with my power system because I'm trying to have a dual setup where it's your natural abilities have to do with your general body's capabilities and stuff with stamina. Thinking kind of more of devil fruits and stuff in One Piece or quirks, where it doesn't have an energy source other than, I would assume, just your own body's energy storage, and then having something like magic or something as an additional thing. So it's you have your base things, but kind of like how Black Clover, you have your magic, and then everything you can actually learn is a supplementary type of bonus power. Because it's everybody's gonna have, well, they're not gonna have all the same powers, but it's their supplementary things are gonna be similar. One thing is summoning, so it's some characters can do summoning shit. Oh, and Perm's personality, I get you. You never told me how Peaches was. The Hex or Frezzo character is going to get crazy after this arc. I mean, yeah, I assume that any of the alchemists are going to have at least one broken ability. The Signario sisters are probably both going to have something crazy. One thing that will give a big factor in how much of a hacks and power crazy characters we see in this next arc, not characters, but it's in the sheer amount, because obviously we have Viernes is a given, the Signario sisters are a given, and then there's probably going to be a couple random alchemists inside Gold Owl that are worth fighting some of the main cast. But it's one character that will be a big factor is their guildmaster, because we don't know yet if the guildmaster is a separate character to Viernes or not. I still really like the idea that he's an almost priest character, and it's like only he can see Viernes or hear Viernes, and it's played out in this almost kind of chosen by God kind of thing, where he's a bit crazy, but it's in this righteous path of truth kind of thing. I think that'd be so cool. Like, I like Doggermag. Like, here's the thing though, real quick as well. This is a thing for for anybody who eventually reads more Mishima series, or if you go into any of the ones that you haven't read yet, he's done. You can tell characters he likes more than others when he sets time aside to give a bit about them. Like, we didn't really have much for Alderaan, Merc, or Doggermag in the build-up. We had bits of them, not in, like, build-up, but in, like, what led up to, like, their battles and stuff. Whereas, like, Selene, Ignia, and Viernes all have had bits where it's like, hey, we gotta actually plan about this dude. We gotta have a moment of a sit-down. Like, there is literally chapters where it's like, hey, we're gonna discuss this character. Where it's like Doggermag, or not Doggermag, where it's like, say, like, Alderaan, we got there, we saw the big fella. What's up, King Sinbad? Dude, I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Where have you been? How have you been? Have you been reading any other series lately? Are you caught up with Black Clover? I got a good power system. Let's talk sometime. Oh, sure. I'll talk to you. I'll tell you about my stuff, man. I got a lot of stuff already planned out. One thing I've been trying to figure out right now is I'm trying to connect character storylines and stuff. Not like majorly, but it's just like how it's like, think about characters like that just have at some point they've interacted, and it's like, oh yeah, at some point whatever in their journey crossed, and then you can either use that for a positive or negative thing. Like, what if it's like, oh, these two characters met, but they were actually hunting each other, but they only knew info, they didn't know what each other looked like. Later they find out, so it's like now the next time they meet each other, they're gonna know. Something like that, or just be really neat to see where that progresses. Oh, highlights for Freight Soul. This year, my favorite was Lucy's fight with Kiri. Lucy's fight with Kiri was definitely up there for me. The Natsu and Suzaku skirmish was cool. Ignia showing up. Oh, the Selene and Ignia square-off panels. These is my favorite one of the year. I mean, just Suzaku and Natsu team dynamics in general was also one of my favorite things about the year. What about? Have I read or watched anything new? I haven't read any new manga lately, just because I said, anything. Well, I haven't gone out like too crazy to try and find anything. It's mostly just been like, looking at like new manga releases from like just the normal general shonens. But I haven't seen anything that I've been interested in. But part of this, like, they've been just doing like what like all Shonen Jump wants to do now are like rom-coms and stuff, and I'm not for it, man. I don't care. Like, I like it when there's, like, one of the things I really like about battle shonens is there's a lot, action, meathead stuff. People are slamming punches and techniques and power system stuff. But there's always an overall story to where these things all combine. It's like, you look at Naruto and you talk about all the ninjas and chakra and stuff, but it's like, okay, well, keep in mind when you think about all those fights and stuff, the amount of stuff you gotta follow along going along the way. Where it's like a story where it's like, oh, this is about what's that one? It's like, oh, these are two characters that can't confess their love for each other, but they're mad at each other all day. But now they got a box, love drunk or something stupid. And then it's just like, this sounds entertaining if it would, like, something like that would be entertaining if it was a short movie, but it's like, as a show, I don't care. Like, I like stuff that I have to pay attention to, that there's, like I like it when it's like, I have to try and figure out stuff, obviously, that's coming. It's like, oh, well, this character is doing X, Y, or Z. It's not like, oh, I have to figure out if this character is going to find out that the other character has a crush on him or not. It's just like, I'm fine if they have that kind of stuff integrated into it, but it's like, that's one of the reasons I just go for like mostly the battle shonen, is because those generally actually have the story rather than just people do some slice of life reading. What's funny is usually the people that get mad at me when I talk about like slice of life or rom-coms is they usually try and like make it out of like, oh, you don't want to read anything with women. It's like, well, I don't need to read a potential or a rom-com about teenagers because I'm not a teenager. And on top of that, I am also I'm amongst the rare few that have managed to snag himself a female. Amongst the two deep weebs. Never give up, guys. There's someone out there for you. I believe in you. And then, to be fair, though, I'm probably like in the lower half of weebs with game. I have like little to no game. But you know, my like barely functional game, it worked. Like Suzaku and Natsu interacting more than the Doggermag fight. The thing about the Doggermag fight is like, I wish Mishima just had a flashback in there where it's like we got to know Doggermag a little bit more. Because like it's like I said, you can tell who Mishima likes more. And it's like, it was a little weird because like Doggermag was starting to show off signs of a Mishima, like, you know, oh, Mishima will give this guy more love. So maybe he'll have plans for him later, like Doggermag somehow lived and then we're going to get him with Igni, or Igni is going to do something to revive him or something like that. We'll find out more about him later kind of thing. But other than that, it's like, maybe Mishima just kind of wanted to pop him up. You know, he just had a villain plan. He had no real kind of desire to make him a more in-depth one. Because I do think it makes sense if he just wanted to have Doggermag be this kind of cool one with, like, parts in the story, obviously, with Ignia. Because it was a good idea to have him and Ignia be friends. It made, you know, I know he's a dragon, but it did show a level of humanity to Doggermag, or sorry, to Ignia, of having a friend and having someone that he was close with. But it also, like I said, because, oh, he's the weakest dragon god, they need to beat him in his dragon form. Natsu and Suzaku combined beat him, so them together is strong enough to defeat the weakest dragon god. So each of them, you know, are probably around the halfway-ish point. It was a unison raid, but it's not like either of them were really going all out because they were still recovering somewhat. And I mean, Natsu didn't go Dragon Force, but Suzaku obviously was in a rougher spot too. It's just kind of as more of a circumstance thing. I don't think it would have been too much different. I feel like they would just won like a different way, more of a traditional kind of put in all your efforts kind of thing, rather than unison raid, Natsu fire, sword slash. If we got something more like, I'm trying to think of what other kind of cool attack. Because I feel like Unison Raid would make sense for a team attack. Unless, I'm trying to think what other kind of way Mishima could have done it. I think it would have been really cool to, like, like the panel when they destroyed Altaface and it's like all of them were kind of up close to the point of view and they're all posed. It's like, imagine that, but it's like you have Doggermag in the middle and then it's like you get, two spreads, and each of them you see from the different perspectives of Natsu and Suzaku, and it's like each of them did their finishing attacks on on Doggermag, and then it's like then you get like just a panel of him like standing there, and then the effects kind of hit him. So it's like that. It's like the the whole swordsman thing where it's like they hit and then you don't see who loses for another minute, but it's from two different angles from a unison attack. I think it'd be pretty sick. What do you think of the fantasy series called Pax Roma? Wait, are you talking about just the names, or these actual? Are these like names you're coming up with, or are these like actual names of series? Eden Zero this year was great. I liked Eden Zero overall. I thought it was pretty good this year. The only thing that I thought was weird is like Mishima rushing through both Cure and Aknoella. That was really confusing to me, because like it made sense of like, oh, it's just gonna kind of get rid of Crow. And Cure, take out two birds with one stone. Now he doesn't have to worry about this other character. He can integrate into the story and do some stuff. But it's like he kind of just pulled Cure out and then got rid of him. And I was like, okay. But then he did it to Aknoella, and that was the thing that was really weird to me. But I was like, I don't know what Mishima. I think Mishima just planned on getting stuff set up for Universe Zero, and I feel like Universe Zero is going to be like. I feel like Universe Zero is going to be the one. I feel like this will be the longest arc in the series. I feel like that's a given. And two, I think it's going to be one of those ones where it's like a lot of stuff that we didn't get the full spread out because this universe, a lot of the characters should be alive again, is we'll see like Aknoella and Cure again and doing their stuff, but it's like Drac and Joe unnerfed. We see full power Drac and Joe. I think that'd be great. Here's the big downfall. That's a lot of them in there. I mean, on Kagura, Kagura is absolutely getting zero moments, under here. Like, Mira Jane is like a maybe. Kagura is a big zero. Kagura's best chance is if something happens where we get, like, a shot of, like, a bunch of the small guilds helping out with some situation that they've confronted. Thoughts on Undead Unlocked? I know it's ending. I mean, it's got a chunk to wait for. But I think it's good. I really like it. I've been really enjoying Izumo's character progression and how she's been handling everything since the loop. Naruto was downright emasculating and mean. Was it fun to watch? I mean, some people like that. It's just a cute girl, like, messing with somebody. It's not like it's not really like some, like, BDSM thing. It's like baby's first BDSM thing. It's mostly just kind of getting teased a little bit. Because, like, the girl isn't even, like, some, like, dominatrix or some, like, humiliation baron. Like, she's just messes with him a little bit, and then sometimes she gets embarrassed. Imagine if Alderaan had a god seed looking like the typical fairy tale female. That'd be kind of funny. I'm still, like... So the thing is, like, Dogremag is kind of like... And I'm not too sure. Like, I'm always curious of if some of these dudes can survive again. Because, like, the thing is, like, Dogremag lived by, like, combining into the ground. So it's like, could he do that again? And then Alderaan... Because, like, Mercephobia, I don't know about him, but it's like, if he did die, if, like, he'd have a way back. But it's like, Alderaan is a plant, you know, tree, obviously, base dragon. But, well, wood. But that's still, like, within the realm of, like, oh, he could become a seed and regrow or something. I could see that happening. Because, like, something like that, I feel like, is always a plausible thing. Or if there was a backup kind of core to him that could regrow into a new body. But it's like, oh, his power is just gone while it's happening. But see, some of the times when you have, like, stuff like that, I do like it. Because it's just always a potential in case you need it. I think that's cool. I'll make you a mod, Kenmana. One sec. I will upgrade you from Spriggan. You can be a dragon eater. You can be in Diablo, so I'll put you right there. We're 5th gen now. One sec. I just realized that Mishima did Hunter with Mercephobia art. Mercephobia was a pretty chill dude. Natsu, after eating these flames, was like a demon. I don't know if that's Hunter-ish. It's like, I told you, Sam, you're going to be annoying. I'm just going to time you out. Another fear about Battle Neons is about power levels, especially in comparison to Pokemon Digimon. Battlers and their Neons are supposed to be a team. The thing I'll say is, like, for power progression, or, like, power levels in general, just make sure you have a progression. Because it's, like, even if, like, think about it, it's, like, nobody cares really about how, like, powerful Dragon Ball characters are now when you look at where they start. Because you can see, like, the connecting points of when characters make each of those jumps. The only time it's weird is when, like, a verse randomly jumps massive tiers out of nowhere with power creep. But it's like, you know, if they're doing a consistent couple lines, they're good. Are they talking about actual stuff? Oh, I don't know. Easy to tell. I don't know. Bring up stuff with, like, what? The Roman Empire? I'm so confused. Oh, how would a fantasy series based on these perform? I mean, it depends on, like, what you would... Like, what you would pick to adapt and what you would add in for, like, story and fantasy, I would assume. Odyssey anime looks cool. Probably pretty cool. There's lots of people, like, some characters like Noelle. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be dudes out there that have some form of interest in whatever girl gimmick perk that they do. Like, didn't all the dudes who just jumped on the Jenna Ortega train when they saw the Wednesday because goth girls... Like, she didn't even do anything crazy as a goth girl. She just looked like a standard goth girl. Hunter x Hunter's already back on hiatus. Did they say what their plan is for that? Like, are they going to... Are they going to end up, like, doing, like, oh, every once in a while we're just going to put out a chapter? So I think that would actually be kind of cool. Like, if they just, no warning, no, they didn't say anything. Sometimes when you opened up the Shonen Jump app on Sundays, there'd be a Hunter x Hunter chapter there. I think that'd be really cool. Because it's like, Hunter x Hunter at this point, any of the fans are just winning in the fact that they get anything at all. Like, they are so starved, they are grateful of the fact they are even given crumbs to breathe in, to cough on. Is that the chick from Spy X Family? I read like the first 2 chapters and it wasn't for me. I bet there's no apprentice of Eleftharion is the one who created Athena. Thing is, I think that it was his apprentice that made it. I don't think that it just disappeared. I bet you he like killed him and hid it or something. I think it's gonna be really funny if by the end of this, like Eleftharion was innocent the whole time, and it's like all these theories we've had about him just being some devious bastard were based off of nothing but suspicions. Latest Boruto arc with a new girl? No, I haven't. I don't watch the Boruto anime. It's too slow. Well, I can't watch when the freaking when it's like, oh, well, we're gonna go from here's the thing. I'll say this real quick. It's one of the things that bothers me a little bit about Mission Yozakura is you'll go from a super serious chapter and then suddenly it's just bam, we're at a picnic for a fundraiser, and we're raising funds for a melon patch to be added to the local kindergarten playground, and it's just like they were just in a death match last chapter over the Grand Canyon, and it's just like what happened? It's like I get slice of life stuff, but it's like it goes. It's like how like Chainsaw Man goes 0 to 100 with craziness. It's just like it's Mission Yozakura will go 0 to 100 for slice of life chapters. Using Orokoshi is rushing the ending. I don't think he's rushing the ending. I think it's just that he didn't like he set up this war arc in such a weird way. Because it's like we got all this stuff. Like think about this. It's very clear the bad guys are, they're pulling out all their trump cards. This is going to be a turning point where it's going to be in their favor for a while. Obviously, Deku hasn't gotten his final battle with Shigaraki or All for One, so it's going to be a good chunk left. I imagine you have to go to work. I hope you have a good good night at work, man. And a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well, Kenmano. He's rushing the ending because of his mental health? Oh, that sucks. What is it? What is bothering his mental health? Is he just upset? Is he like reading Twitter posts by his fans? Oh, Discord. Aren't you already in there? I like how the gray name, it just looks like you have a white name. No, come on. Let's see. I'll post a link for it. I mean, I don't know. I thought this like second half of the war has been fine. The only parts I thought were like meh is anytime we see anything with Ochako and the stuff with the spinner and all the I don't metamorphed people or whatever. It's just like I don't care. Like, there are characters that I just don't care about. And this was one of the things that I knew that, especially, like, I don't know if they add stuff for him in the anime. Because I don't know if they include that into, like, the mind of what they're doing. Because, like, maybe if you include the anime, some of these characters are much more liked and there's more to them. So these scenes have more impact. But it's like seeing the tail dude and all these other, like, the animal dudes just get in arguments of like, oh, the discrimination against people like this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this has barely been touched upon in the series, and your characters we've barely even seen since you've been introduced. You've barely gotten a line in every arc, and it's just so upsetting. He's probably having issues, apparently. Horikoshi, he says so much shit. Yeah, the family's pretty awesome. Greek World Hunter's Quest is coming. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, the Underworld. Jalal versus Urza. I would say Jalal would win. What are My Hero Academia fans? I mean, here's the thing. I would offer my services to Horikoshi. I'd say, Horikoshi, here's what I want you to do. Write the manga how you fucking want. Give me your Twitter. And I would put on his Twitter. I'd say, this is a message from Horikoshi's official spokesperson. If you don't like what he's doing, suck a dick. Don't read the manga then. If you like it, keep supporting it. We appreciate you. If you don't like it, then just don't buy it. Because it's like, I don't think Horikoshi's done anything horrendous. It's like, even the parts of this arc that I just didn't like, I thought were just because they were a little slow. It wasn't like the Maki and Naoya fight. I thought the rematch for that was awful. It was like one of the most insufferable matches I've seen in so long because it didn't make sense. I don't want to get into it again. It's going to make me mad. You have a Devil Union Asta profile? Yeah, I've seen you, I think. Pretty sure. I think Toga's an interesting character, but the Ochako stuff's really boring. Yeah, I mean, Ochako in general is just boring. She's not interesting. Her character has been barely utilized the entire series. And it's the same thing. It's like, why are we supposed to care now? You can't force your audience to give a shit about a cause or character problems if you've never really done anything with these characters. You're not even really doing anything until the very end. But it's like, I feel like he should have introduced stuff like that way earlier. Maybe done some, like, short stories about it. Instead, we got, like, the school festival and freaking earphone guitar girl. Like, it's some of his lack of build-up decision in some areas just makes me questionable. Obviously, like, he's got his own stuff going on, so, like, you know, I don't know the details. But, Horikoshi, if you ever hear this, just, you know, hit me up, man. I will be your personal complaints from fans spokesperson. And I will go to each of them, and I'll say, listen, first off, if there are any complaints about Deku and Bakugo not being a couple, get out now. Just leave. Just leave. We're not going to answer any of your questions. We're going to make fun of you for asking them. So this is your last warning. Get out. You know, he's a sexist because of Stars and Stripes. I mean, that's just what people say. They think everybody's sexist. But that's because most of the My Hero Western fans are Tumblrites and Redditors. Yeah, but luckily I don't take their opinion seriously. Toga's the love interest. How would a twist? The thing is, like, I would have liked it if she was the love interest, but the twist was she ended up being a villain. I think that would have been really cool, because then you could have had Deku could have had the classic romance is a villain character trope, which would have worked. And then it's like here's the thing. Think about this, and I'll put this other. Imagine it's like, okay, you have a not like Deku was in love with her, but it's kind of like how Denji and Reze were, where there's chemistry between them that he can tell, and he can just be like, he knows that he should pursue this. But you would make Toga not as crazy, but it's like the progression into crazy. And then instead of him wanting to save Shigaraki, save Toga. Because then it's like, oh, save this girl who was pretty much kind of led into this position and who hasn't, who's been assisting and stuff, but hasn't been doing X, Y, or Z herself, so she's not too far gone. I think that would have worked way better. And on top of it, like I said, that's a trope most people like. And on top of that, it's like a normal superhero trope for main characters, and it usually works and makes them cooler just by default. Because it's like he had the whole Toga had a thing for Deku bit, but it's like it was never really explored other than that it existed. Oh, everyone is gay trope. That's just shippers. I'm from Reddit, but you don't have you doing the BS. Man, it's the people who live on Reddit. Also, really quick, I really appreciate anybody who's here. If you thumbs up the video from the like button, subscribe button, and if you feel like I've earned your entertainment enough, if you like donating $1 to my way, I would appreciate it. You don't have to, but like I said, I would appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to you guys as well. Imagine if someone from you guys in Hunter x Hunter was Pito love interest. Pito. I mean, freaking. Is this or hang on? Yeah, that's the transgender cat. I almost said something that was gonna get me in trouble. And be careful with wording. I know the YouTube tyrants do not like it when you say things that might not be as nice. Tumblr's a bit more chill after the porn ban. The question is, where did all those girls move to? That's actually something I've never really thought too much about. Like, where did they actually go? Because there's no way that all those hentai freaking artist chicks, all those chicks that do yaoi and shit on a regular basis, just decided to give it up.
Busted a nut.
Like, they had to move to a different site. Oh, thank you for another $4.99 ice juice. Hey, what's your cat's name? It actually kind of looks like a cat I used to have. He had less white around the around his nose. He had a pink nose, I'm pretty sure, but right on the edge. But he very similar patterns for the most part. Does he have white feet? Is he a snowshoe? Mine was a snowshoe. Sammy Snowshoe. He's a good cat. Pito's a girl. That's the thing. Haven't there been multiple different like conflicting bits of information on that freaking cat being a dude or a chick? The girl, wait, the girls move to E621. I don't know what that is. Oh, and R34. Oh, they moved to Twitter. Yeah, they got DM. They have it all done by AI art now. And their Miku Spasso. Oh, that's unfortunate, man. That's a nice looking cat, though. That's what I could tell. I could see the little bit of white on the foot. That was my cat was like that too. He got eaten. Actually, no, that was a different cat. My freaking.
You just busted a nut.
My freaking dad. My Siamese cat. My dad got him too fat because he would feed him damn salmon all the time. It was like right at the time of year my dad would go salmon fishing, and so like my cat who would regularly hang out with him when he was outside. It's the only cat that would hang out with him when he was doing shit like smoking salmon. So he got all this damn salmon, and my cat got too fat, and then he got sick. And I was just like, damn it. That really hurt. That was a rough time, so I understand. But yeah, but he was a snowshoe as well. Yeah, I'm caught up with both of those. Mission Yozakura last chapter was pretty interesting. I really want to see where it goes, but like I said, I know there's going to be some Slice of Life chapters coming up. I really hope it's just going to be like, oh, let's have a couple jokes, but at the end of the chapter, we're going to get something. I don't like it. The same way that like Mishima's been doing intermission chapters in between arcs since Fairy now, where it's like the chapter will at least end with something important that we're going to get for the story and stuff. I want to get that for... I want to get that for Mission Yozakura for the next chapter. I don't like it when it's just like goes from really important story stuff to like a chapter that is none of the events that happen are gonna carry on really to the main plot. It's pretty rough. I got more cats now. Right now my ringleader of cats is Tartaros, and he's hanging out right here. He's chilling. He's been making his usual rounds, smelling my dog when he's not looking. He'll sneak up when my dog's asleep and just kind of smell his face and walk off. It's really funny because my dog loves him, but he does not like my dog that much, but he kind of does. My opinion is it doesn't matter or bother artists by having people constantly asking free art. Well, here's the thing. It's just like for the artists, a lot of them don't, like when you ask them, they don't want to, they're either busy or they'll charge too much or they decide that they just don't really feel like doing some X, Y, or Z, or they take too long. And then there's also the fact that you got to find, if you're looking for a specific art style, you got to find specific artists. You can't just find a random guy and they draw, hey, I want to get a drawing of me, and I've got a gauntlet made out of freaking stars, and I'm jumping through the eye of a storm to punch through Galactus, who's made of, made of licorice. And it's just like, no, I don't think so. I don't even know what I was talking about with that. I think I fully lost my train of thought mid-sentence. That was actually impressive. I haven't done that in a bit. I like it, though. He's having the spirit. Oh, the Ryuzen actually be strong. Well, the thing is, like, I actually kind of like the logic for the Ryuzen, because the Spirit Guardians didn't get into combat, clearly, very often, where Gaja went out of his way to train for battle. Where it's like the Ryuzen were isolated to where they didn't have to really deal with much for problems, in the Land of the Sun in general. But they didn't just kind of chill. They actually stayed kind of keeping strong and improving on their own styles and stuff over time. So it's like these guys being strong, I think, makes sense. Where the Spirit Guardians were just bums because they, like, you know, they're guys with a gun that was never trained how to shoot. Oh, he's Elon Musk Minecraft. Charging too much. Oh, I was talking about like the art. It's like I remember what it was. It's like you get that specific art style, you want something really crazy, and it's like, oh well, I want it to look in this style to where it's like I want this crazy thing, but I want it drawn in like Bleach's art style or something. And then you talk to a guy who's willing to do it, and then he draws it in freaking Rick and Morty style, and it's just like, what the fuck is this? I'm not paying for this kind of thing, where it's like instead you can just go through a machine that will do it for like a fifth of the price in like 10 minutes. Just watching random fight combos that people post on Twitter. I mean, they had their own personal stuff, but I mean, they didn't have to deal with like how the Clover Kingdom and the other ones had to deal with invading nations and other, you know, other kingdoms with their own problems and stuff and the things that they were messing with. They're only just on themselves. And even something like a warring issues, like I don't imagine that their problems were as frequent because it doesn't look like it, at least not in, it doesn't look like it was that bad. It looks like it's just been like, oh yeah, there's been some conflict, but it doesn't look like it's been a long ongoing problem or it's something they really have to deal with anymore. Blade is me, talking about Bleach. I think of Artorias Pendragon. I haven't really watched Fate. I'm not too interested in the Fate series. It's like I don't like, because like here's the thing, Fate, this Fate is like what people make jokes about Mishima series, where it's like they're the same character but they're in a different alternate universe and stuff is different in the different Fate series. But it's like I'm not a big fan of that. It's like I don't want to watch a guy for like 10 episodes and then it's like, wow, this is cool, and then I get to watch a different version of him who's, you know, something extra weird or something I don't like. Because like, what is this? Is I know a decent amount of the different Fates. I know of some of the more suspicious Fates. It's similar to like I know there's a handful of Transformers. I know there's a sus Transformers. I know there's that one Fate where like instead of it being whatever fighter and stuff, they're like all like 10-year-old girls. Isn't there like a lowly one? Some of the Fates, it's like the Monogatari fans. I gotta be careful around them. How many episodes still left with Bleach? I mean, it's gonna be a while. I mean, they've just got to Kenpachi and Unohana's fight. I mean, I'm not gonna say like, oh, every artist is like that, but I have seen that people have had general issues with artists, either not delivering on time, procrastinating, not delivering what they wanted, and it's like the artists shouldn't be being like, you can't do AIR, as they should be figuring out like, well, what can they provide that is valuable enough that you would go to them instead of an AI artist, or I guess AI program, but you know what I mean? It'd be like, you know, a store opens up, has better prices than another. You can't just tell people you can't go to that store. You gotta be like, how can I adjust? How can I adapt to this situation and actually, you know, make it out somewhat with win? You just need more battles and get the plot important, but I really need some more of the Wendy and Lucy fight, especially Wendy. I would really like to see like another serious Wendy fight, like not her in like an enchanting battle. I want to see Wendy in like more of a Dragon Slayer battle where she's got to throw hands and she's got to actually, you know, bloody up an opponent, drop her Dragon Force, maybe get like an increased level of her Dragon Force. I think it'd be really cool if Wendy, like she got one where it's like she didn't get anything kind of too like, oh, some extra bonus 10 abilities, but it's like it's just a higher output, kind of like how when she used Dragon Force the first time, how she was messing with all the air in the area. Like, if she could just do that passively again, like, she gets those little, wings, or... I guess now it'd be, like, that one that she had when, they fought, Altaface, where he had those cool, like, rings around her hands. You do that again, and then have, like, I don't know, some cool, like, gust winds around them that all kind of circulate into that spot. I think pretty sick. I never saw good AR-generated art. I've seen some good ones. Simon Power and Fairy Tail is interesting. Oh, the instant darkness power? That's pretty good. I imagine that, like, for a lot of the lower level enemies, it's probably a really easy win. Because you do that and you just shoot them. And it's like the low level people aren't going to be able to block or resist just a bullet to the face, I would assume. I guess it depends on what age you're at. Like, the time Simon was alive, definitely, like, fodder people, yeah, just put a bullet in them. Current Undead Unluck is pretty good. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I've thought it's been pretty hype. I really want to see when Andy comes back. What's up, Rax and chat? You guys been having a good, nice Christmas? Yeah, it's been pretty solid. How are you doing your IOI? What's been going on with you lately? I see some more body changing Fairy Tail, like the whole Camp Ginyu. I don't know about that. I'm not too fond of long body swapping plots and jokes. So I'm kind of hoping we don't do that. Like, and we just had a similar-esque thing with Sai and his Gray fight. I don't really need to see that again. Like, it's like, it'd be the same thing if Mishima wanted to do, like, another, like, hey, these guys kind of look like the Fairy Tail Guild. It's like, we don't need that again. Fairy Now was brief enough and effectively used enough that I'm fine with it, but we don't need to get to them again. I feel like just nothing important will come out of it. More Jalal. I agree. Oh, you got a new Xbox. Nice, nice. Man, I heard they might add World of Warcraft to Xbox since Microsoft's gonna own Blizzard within whatever year or two. I hope they get more people to join them. That'd be pretty sweet. We're definitely at worst fight of the year. Gray only had like the one fight, and it was like a skirmish with like a hacks dude who was fodder. Simon died too soon because of the plot. I mean, I don't know if that was plot. I mean, he chose to do that, and it made sense. So I don't really know if that was an issue. I mean, like, Irene didn't know any. I don't really want that though. It's like we already did that. We don't need to do too much of that again. Like any of the stuff I'm coming, I want to see new stuff. Like, I don't want any of the alchemists to just pull out, like, abilities we've already seen. Or, like, anything that's kind of like, oh, it's like this, but slightly different. I want to see them doing, like, cool new stuff. Because that's one of the fun things about getting, like, you know, crazy high-level new characters. Like, oh, shit, well, what can this guy do? And if it's just like, oh, well, I can do what that one character you've already seen can do with, like, a slight alteration. It's like, that's one of the reasons I found Daphne is so lame, is she's just a less impressive Dorna Anum, but she's also more annoying. You need Scullion face reveal. I don't know what, like, would be important about his face, unless it has something important secretly about it, but I mean, a Scullion moment of some kind would be great. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. You hear Amazon owns EA now, and they closed EA down. Oh, that's rough. Man, I mean, I don't think I have anything in interest-wise in EA, I guess. Nothing I can think of. Gajo had worse than Gray. Well, Gajiel's actually, I thought, oh no, I don't think that. Because Gajiel's was more interesting. Gajiel set up something for the future, and it also set up stuff for, oh, the question of if God Serena's alive, how, what's going on with that. Because God Serena being on that panel was one of the most explosive, like, spoilers we had for the year of people just being like, what the fuck? Just confused, but talking, trying to figure out what's going on. And of course, yeah, there's some people that are like, oh, he's retconning it, blah, blah, and it's like, oh, wait, they addressed it? Okay, cool. Can't wait until they get to a point to actually address the plot, and assuming they're just going to tell you right now. Because, like, I get some things that you should tell, but it's like, obviously, if something is built for later, you got to wait for later to see when the fuck that's going to happen. Ready. Calm down. You're fine. You want to leave? Well, he probably wants to go out. You're fine, buddy. Hang out for a little bit longer. Hi. You can say hi to the people in the stream if you want to. Ready? Ready? No? You not want to bark? He says no. He's stretching around. He's pissing off my cat. Ready? Stop. You fucking sit down, you tard. Odds are cheesy but fun. I mean, it's just the way that he talks. But I mean, like, his general design is cool, but also his fighting style I really like. I really like the way that he adapts to his opponent and switches between types. I think that's pretty cool. Because I didn't like when he just kind of spammed elements. I think this is way more intelligent. And it shows more of like, oh yeah, a guy who's an experienced fighter, who's powerful, and knows how to use his abilities. Bam. What's up, Sam Jace? How are you doing? Hopefully Misaki stocks continue to rise. I think they will. Misaki, at least from what I can tell, Mishima just probably didn't have any plans really for her more bad guy side, so he just went with the, with what we got, because she seemed fine in almost all of the, pretty much, if you exclude everything we've seen in the fight, like how she interacted with Urza, all of Misaki's other bits where she's more kind of calm and chill, she's actually been a pretty likable and enjoyable character to see just interact with people. But it's like right when she gets into combat, she seems to just become this like pseudo-villain almost. New Black Clover chapter. I mean, I just wasn't really hyped for it. It was just a exposition chapter showing off the Ryuzen. So if I don't understand why people treat everything in Ichigo and Zangetsu as retcon. Oh, I don't know. What's up, Rex? How's it going? The Gold Owl Master being it is really interesting, the fact that we don't know if it is going to be a separate character or if it is going to be Viernes. I really like that. I think that's a pretty neat thing, because even when we get down to it, it's going to, I think, be hyped by the way, because it's either, one additional, crazy new character we're going to have to deal with, but also it's like, oh, is it Viernes? It's like, oh, well, let's see how many things does Viernes have got, does he got brewing and cooking? Favorite Ryuzen member? I mean, I don't really have one. If I was going to pick one, just based off of at least thinking about him, it'd probably be the dude with the cat and the, I don't know what it is. It's not a guitar, but it's, the string instrument, the Japanese string instrument. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. No, he's the one playing music. I think his design is really cool. I like his design a lot. Plus, plus he's got a cat, so +1. Is that his name Kezokaku? Or which, I don't know him by name. None of them have done anything for me to be like putting stocks in them yet. I think they're fine. People ask how strong Sting and Rogue got Dragon Lacrima if their dragons are long dead. Well, no, Dragon Lacrima they could have just gotten from later in life. Like, you could literally buy one. They're just expensive. Sting and Rogue were part of the #1 guild, and did they actually, I'd have to go back and look. Did they mention how many times they've won the Grand Magic games? Because I imagine, like, leading up to it, Genma probably wouldn't have cared to fund them getting Dragon Slayer Lacrimas if it meant, obviously, the placement of his guild. Because it's like, you think of like the trade-off in his mind. Spend some money, make these kids more powerful so they'll become stronger soldiers when they get older. 100% he'd be fine with that. And it's like the amount of money and the kind of influence and reach that he probably had at the time, I think it would make sense. I don't think it's something we really need to ever get more in-depth of a look at, because I just don't really think it matters. Like, if we got anything, it'd have to be in something like if we got another Sting and Rogue spinoff. Ready? You're fine, buddy. Oh, hold on. Hold on. We got a bot there. I'm gonna mute him out. Oh, the fox chick? Yeah, the fox chick's fine. People are saying that the dragon hearts would be long gone. Well, they never said that they got the dragon hearts from their specific dragons. They just said that they killed them. I mean, on top of that, it couldn't have been when they initially got them, because when Sting and Rogue came through, 2nd gen was still a developing thing. So 3rd gen probably wasn't established at the time. It's like how when anything that we knew about dragon slaying magic going into the series up until, for example, like the whole, because this is something that people get mistaken and forget. It's not that dragon slayers can't eat elements outside their own, it's just they're not supposed to because it's hard for them to process it. Whereas when we got that information, that is based off of up for 1st gen. Doesn't have anything to do with knowledge on 2nd gen or further, because those were new inventions at the time. So the stuff with, Natsu being able to intake Laxus's lightning was something that didn't take into account 2nd gen's precedence of, well, not precedence, 2nd gen's fact of not being, not being tied to limitations of what 1st gen was set on, because it doesn't have those known set rules, and they've all had their own kind of different perks and variations of what they can kind of lean around. 20% cheaper on a locker room if you use my name. I think it's about accurate. Oh, Samuelson is the string instrument. Oh, that's the thing itself. Yeah, that guy's cool though. I like that guy. I think going into Toga's family history was a missed opportunity. I don't think her family history, but I think it would have been good to see like what her family's not the reaction to her, but like their reaction to like her in general. To like if somebody, not like, she gets kicked out because they're like, oh, you're too fucking weird. It's like more of like post she's left, she's known for some criminal things, and then her parents like are cited, and people ask them like, blah blah blah, do you have any comments on what your daughter did? And then it's like seeing something like that, I think would be really cool, because it would give us more insight into like if her parents like didn't even acknowledge her existence. It's like, oh yeah, that's probably why she just doesn't care. Is she's got probably some weird warped vision of like how love is and like affection are and shit like that because of her parents. Something like that would have been pretty neat. There's a lot of stuff with like characters like Toga, and a lot of the smaller characters I think were really skipped. Because it's really weird. Toga is really popular for little to no reason. Toga has not done a ton in the series, and she hasn't done any. She doesn't have like, think about it like this. She doesn't have any of those parts where it's like some mega memorable scene dedicated to this character, where you just have like some, like Dobby's got his dance scene. So you don't really have that with Toga. Toga doesn't really have anything that really cements her part of the fandom, other than obviously her design and the fact she's a girl. But I mean, it worked, and so I wish Horikoshi focused more on that. He found one that worked to do more of that, and then it's like, no, he did almost nothing with his female characters, and it is what it is because of that. Like I like his well, no, not his overall female characters, just Ochako, because like I like some of his female characters. Was it Mirko? I like her. I think she's cool. Because that's one of the things that really does confuse me. It's like, it's not like Horikoshi is incapable of presenting a really cool female character. Like Mirko, like Stars and Stripes got rushed, but it's like she was still cool in concept in her depiction. And I'm sure there's a couple others, but it's like, I mean, those two right there, I feel like should be enough. Georg, come back via human transmutation. That'd actually be kind of cool. You might be onto something there, Rex, man. That'd be pretty sick if they bring back Georg. And then you have, like, Diablos members. Like, that'd be really cool. Maybe, like, that's Suzaku's opponent. And it's kind of like how when Sting and Rogue fought Genma. I think that'd be amazing, and it would follow my theory that Mishima is, like, loosely basing kind of, like, bits of kind of core aspects of, like, older arcs into these newer ones. Like, maybe this next one is going to be, like, the Tartaros of 100 Years quest or something. I mean, maybe. Probably not. It would... If he does that, he probably would save it for other Ignia, unless Viernes is going to be, like, wilder than my anticipation is at the moment. I mean, we'll see. Mishima, when he hypes up the guys, like when he actually goes out of his way to give some lumps to him. Because think about this: there's 6 dragon gods. 3 of them are in how I've kind of presented, where he's put more time aside just to kind of get them built up. Ignia, Viernes, and Selene. Think about the Spriggan 12. About half of them were the same thing. Only half of them got backstories and stuff like that. So it's like Mishima, you can tell like some of them he's just like, you got to be there, but I don't have any like major scale plans for you. And then there's people that are, he's just like, oh, I've got your backstory written out. Don't worry about it. I got you. You mean alchemy to use to enhance a Dragon Slayer's Lacrima? No, I don't think so. I feel like that'd be a little weird. It's like, what are they going to do to really kind of improve for it? I feel like it would just kind of do something weird. Everything about how Ichigo was foreshadowed. We talked. I don't know what that's to do with anything. I can see another Gemini ability can be able to copy people's magic for a short amount of time. I think it'd be really cool. Oh, Gemini can already do that. Oh, Wood Dragon Lacrima. I was still wondering maybe they could just kind of fish out some stuff from Alderaan and turn it into a Lacrima for somebody to have. So use Best Girl. I don't really like her. Stars and Stripes would be a cool concept. She's a plot device in. Oh, it's just like he didn't plan like anything for her. Like she should have been. He should have been like, okay, I'm gonna have a movie. She's gonna be in the movie, and then we're gonna bring her into the manga, and then after she like spends some time, whatever, talking to Deku X, Y, and Z, then you do the fight and she dies. It was weird to introduce her and then do nothing with her. Like Yuki in Jujutsu Kaisen recently, I think was a much better performance. It was like we had build up for her, we knew about her, we understood why she was here. We understood what she's doing. 4 Beast Dragon Slayer magic. I know, his was cool, but we'll see if we ever get around to him again. Would alchemy be like a weak dragon? What? I look forward to Georg's 4 Beast. Oh, man, that'd be really cool. I'm going to hold on to, that note, Rex, because that's a pretty good one. Old Out could already be the Tartaros 100 Years Quest. It's going to depend, like, again, what Mishima's theming is. I think he should. I think if he was going to do, let me see, if he was going to do it now, I think it would be cool if he did it with Viernes, but obviously, he, like I said, do something kind of like a religious almost theme, kind of make it kind of like religiously scary, kind of, where instead of Tartarus, which is like dark and demons, it's almost in like this piercing, unpleasant light. Not like as horror, but it's just like shit just keeps getting dark and stuff goes wrong. Right when you think stuff is settling, it gets worse. And then instead for Ignia's arc, instead of it being like more like, it's more of just like a blood pumping action, kind of like things are crazy and all over the place kind of arc. Signar means singularity. Oof, that might be dangerous. Yuki's better. I mean, Yuki's really cool. I thought she was nice. Bunny Girl is what Stars and Stripes wanted to be. Bunny Girl. Oh, Mirako. She's pretty cool. Oh, I don't think it'll be the black tortoise. I think it'll be the yellow one because Kieran. Also makes me wonder, it's like, is it the 4 that he ate were the 4 Dark Dragonstar Knights, or is it 4 just in general, and then some of them he has on there, and then he's got his own personals? I would really like to see what he has. Maybe, actually, dang it. I wish so bad now that I think about it. Imagine if we, instead of Gajil, we had Georg alive to fight God Serena. So we got 8 Dragon Slaying Lacrima versus 4 Beast Dragon Eater. I think that would have been amazing, just to see all these different types and to see just all these combos kind of go together. If only. Georg does have a black tortoiseshell on his back. Let me go look. I never looked too much at his back because I only got to see this man stand up once. He got to stand up once, and unfortunately he became a puddle. Let me see. Oh, that was such a good chapter. That had to be one of my favorite chapters in 100 Years Quest, purely because people kept talking shit about Selene, It was like almost entirely the Eden Zero fans talking shit about Celine, and then it's like, oh, she's garbage now, and then it's like, oh, nope, this was all part of Celine's plan. Suck a dick. How's Aknoella? Let me see. Is it on his back? I don't know if that's a turtle shell. That's like a dragon cape. Yeah, that's not a turtle shell. I'm trying to see. Is it under there? Man, it makes me sad because like Georg, I really liked his design. Like, my favorite thing about his design was the weird panels of his face because of his facial hair took so much fucking space up. So it's like when he's looking, it like takes up a third of the panel, but because of the angle, it's like his face will just kind of absorb into a whole corner. And I liked that. I thought that was really cool. Man, he made me so sad that he went the way he did. Like when he's grinning and like that part where Selena's chained up and he's like drooling a little bit, wanting to eat her. He looks like really intimidating because of like his big size, his wide ass face. Like, he was a cool dude. I wish that he made smarter decisions. I wish he made smarter decisions. He was not ready for that. Oh, hang on. Ready. You're fine. You want to be let out? Okay, one sec. One sec. Let me let this dog. Okay, I return. For Georg can come back. I mean, if Georg makes a return, at one, I don't think it'd be a full return. I think the whole human transmutation thing potentially could work, unless one of the 4 beast dragons that he has a level of regeneration. But again, it's gonna take some time to see any of that. I feel like the human transmutation is like a minion is probably the best bet. I actually think it would be really cool if Georg ended up, because of human transmutation, became one of the enemies. Like, what if he was like, oh, fuck you guys. You guys are on her side now? I'm gonna join these dudes. Like, they resurrect him, but he has free will, but he just does not care that used to be his guild. He's like, you ungrateful little bastards. Can't believe this. You guys are gonna hang out? That chick killed me. What happened to Celine in the current chapter? And Celine was just kind of talking to them. She was just kind of talking to them about like what was going on with Viernes. We haven't gotten to the actual chapter yet. That won't be out until tomorrow. I was going to update stats for the fairy tale characters. I know a lot of them were inaccurate because of Jason. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna get those again. Those were just like Jason's assessments. I think there was a degree of truth to them, but it's not like it was a 1-for-1. It was just kind of like a general understanding of the characters. So it's like when he says like, oh, well, this character's slightly faster than this other one, this character's slightly more durable. I don't think you should take that as like a 100% or like a straight fact, but at least it's like, well, it combining it with actual feats and whatnot. So it's like when he says like, oh, well, Gray's faster than he's got a degree of speed on Natsu, and then it's like you really look at feats and depictions, like, oh yeah, that's like Gray's whole thing is like reaction and combat speed. Natsu as well, but like Gray's whole thing is like speed and reacting to stuff. Can you use all 4 beast magic to smoke all the Dark Dragon Slayer Knights? I mean, potentially. I mean, I'd be hyped to see a fight with him, like an actual match. We ever see Celine's other sons? I mean, maybe. You're gonna come back just asking if they any more dragons. I won't get my hopes up, but I'll be hyped if we get something that that does keep him or bring him back for like a fight. Jigen Bulman is better kill your boyfriend. God, she'll getting the. I mean, he just beat her up. He didn't even really. Well, he didn't do anything kind of outrageous, but they were enemy guilds at the time. Whereas like Vegeta was just killing like to kill people. It's a completely different story. And Gajo, like I said, Gajo roughed some people up. He didn't even like break their legs or like rip out any teeth or do anything crazy. He just bruised them up a little bit and sent them home. Well, put them on a tree. me see some real quick. Germa revealed as the new fairy tale villain. Germa? Like from frickin'... Isn't that the group in One Piece? These guys are kind of bums. One second. Fight this dude real quick. One second. One sec. This guy's not having a good time. Hold on, I gotta chase this guy down. He's running away from me. Hold on. Hold on. This guy's not escaping. Get out of here. Oh, hold on, these guys are gonna keep attacking me. One second. Ha! I got him. Alright. Hold on. I might be able to survive this. Hold on. I don't think I'm gonna. Well, I got a health stone. Or soul stone. I'll just revive him. And then. Pop. Easy. Okay, Joel Ultier would have been a great couple. I don't think so. Like, they're definitely characters that I think have really good synergy, but I mean, like, I don't like them as a couple. I really like when characters can just have really good general dynamics. Let me see. Okay, we'll see. My dog has returned. Ready? Calm down. Man, but like, what else? Because we got normal chapters tomorrow. Do we have Eden Zero as well? I definitely want to check out the well, I mean, like, what's for the Eden Zero chapter? What is there really? What happened in the last one? Oh yeah, it was Shiki and Rebecca met back up. Like, they remembered who they were. So, like, one thing I'm kind of confused about that that we're gonna obviously have to wait a little bit to figure out is, once they're all met back up, is Mishima gonna time skip them back to like the more older versions, or is he going to keep them in the way they were at the start of the series, where they're all kind of in their younger states? I don't know how much I like that that idea, but I don't know. I mean, it could work, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if they're if they're in their, you know, they're always still just young, like they're back at whatever 17 or something. I don't know. I feel like it'll just be a little strange in the full transition. I feel like he'll age them up again. Like, maybe by the time he regathers everybody, we'll get like, oh yeah, they're back of age. They can meet. I don't need, like, I would actually kind of prefer if we skipped very much further down, like an arc where like an arc down where we're gonna have stuff like, oh yeah, we gotta, you know, meet everybody again, figure out where everybody is, and do whatever the fuck to kind of reclaim and recollect everybody to, you know, whatever the plot is. One second, I've entangled a dude in combat again. Oh, he's running away. Oh, whatever. I'm gonna go laugh at him, and then I'm gonna get back to chilling. Look at a Fire Dragon's Roar just for you. Fire Dragon's Roar. Oh, hopefully you're gonna meet Todd Habercorn. You know, one time he responded to me on Twitter because he was like really mad about stuff with Trump, and I was just like, oh, please don't become one of those celebrities. He got mad at me, but because I was like, please don't become one of those celebrities that's obsessed with talking about Trump. And And he was like saying, like, you know, obviously he wanted to talk about what he wanted on Twitter. I'm like, it's not that. I just don't want you to lose your mind like all these other celebrities. Justice, man, it's like, I don't know. Like, Justice has been such a miss for me. Because Mishima has done almost nothing with him. Like, granted, maybe Universe Zero is going to be the plan where he's going to, like, fully finish fleshing out a lot of these characters to kind of finish, like, get their setup. Like, everything else was kind of just to get them established and get aspects about them kind of built up. And then from there, we're going to get stuff like, oh, yeah, you know, important parts of backstory, and we're going to get important general interactions and scenes where they're going to be contributing and doing their own things. I don't know. Hold on a second. Just dismounted this fucking nerd. Killed his ass. Where is this freaking... Oh, there's a lot of dudes here. I can't take so many people on at the same time. Ooh, that's not good for me. Hang on. I'm moving. I can't take like 5 people. But what I can do, one of the things I've been doing this expansion is a lot of these supply crate drops, and if your team, you know, if anybody on your faction gets it, then you know anybody on your faction can get it while it's up. But you know, if you lose it, the other team is like, oh, you don't get shit. But I like to go to them if we lose them. And I wait, and I'll find somebody to chase down, and then I dismount them while they're flying, and then I do loops around them while I fall to their death. It's pretty fun. Crazy how Sarah told Celine to die because she's dragging. I know, like, Mishima has gone out of his way to, like, make him very much against, like, how Natsu obviously views, like, humans and dragons, and, like, the whole stuff, obviously, about it's not something that, you know, none of what makes them who they are is based off of where they're at for their species. It's based off of their own personal actions and stuff. I gotta find somebody that I'm gonna chase. Is anybody on my server? Are these all just random dudes? I'm gonna try to chase this freaking elf. I usually pick guys on my server elves. I discriminate against elves. Maybe for Eden Zero, the timeline could have been messed up or something, so they could go to Invention and fix it. Well, it's like whatever the corrected parts of the story in the in Universe Zero are is one of the things I'm going to be really hyped for. Hold on, I'm going to try him. Did I get him? Yeah, I did. Fuck this guy. I'm just watching him fall to his death now. Fucking bitch. I have a deep hatred for the Alliance, so it's all good. Gonna pose up in a spot and wait for this guy to come back. I was happy I hit him with that. I'm not the best PvPer, but I've gotten real good at dragon flying, and I love chasing people down. Anyway, sorry, I've been distracted because I was caught up in games all of a sudden. But yeah, we got stuff tomorrow. Obviously, I'm gonna be doing a stream for that. We're gonna be talking about the 100 Years Quest chapter. In general, I think that we're probably going to get most of a explanation chapter. Like, I see it being way more said of, oh, well, we're going to be seeing Celine. Celine give us the actual bit of information on what's going on with this character. What exactly is going on with this dude that we're going to be getting, you know, that he's such a threat, such a focus. Because, like, Celine clearly knows, so it's like we have to figure out what exactly is it that Celine knows that's so important. Like, what, obviously it's a big deal, and it's like he's a dragon god and stuff, but it's like there has to be some form of context as to, you know, obviously Celine, when she starts actually telling us, like, oh yeah, this is why he's a threat, this is what his plan is. Obviously, we're starting out with, yeah, he's really broken, he's like a concept being who both exists and does not exist. It's like, well, shit. Well, that sounds extremely complicated to get around. It's like I'm setting up stuff just in case one of these freaking Alliance dudes comes to attack me. trying not to die, so give me a moment. I'm worried this random warrior over here is going to attack me. I kind of want to leave him alone in case... Like, I'm trying to figure out if I want to attack this dude and kill him to make sure he doesn't fuck with my stuff. But at the same time, it's like, will he fuck with my stuff if I kill him? I wonder if we get a surprise twist in the OSI and OSG membership. Ooh, that'd be actually kind of cool. If one of them is actually in Universe 0, like on the other side. I would really like to see them almost all in their prime. Like, I would love to see just like, we see... Oh, hang on, this guy I think is trying to get ready to attack me. I gotta watch out, I don't want to deal with these people if he does. I thought I soul stoned. Hold on. I gotta go back there. I might have to kill that guy because he's gonna try and take my spawn. Oh fuck! There's no way I'm gonna make it back there in time. I thought I soul stoned. That's my fault. On top of the Brandish, I mean, it's kind of like Taurus and the hair, where Brandish is kind of relaxing, not doing much. I mean, Brandish is traveling. She's on vacation. Brandish is hanging out. Like she's every time we see her, they just kind of come across her. I mean, it's kind of only twice, and like one of them was just because of Drasil. Man, is this guy gonna take my kill? No, you're not. I'm not letting this happen. Hang on. I'm not taking my kill, fella. How is this boss resetting? I'm right here. Oh my god. Oh, wait a second. It'll be fun to see with new Twist Universe 0, not just a refresh of everything. I imagine it's going to be like everything in its most, and whatever the most accurate version. Kind of like, you know, as you go through timelines, there's, you know, alternate timelines. Certain things are slightly twisted and slightly different as you progress. And then really quick, I'll just do one more. If you haven't yet, I'd really appreciate if you thumbs up the video, like the subscribe button, or the like button. And if you feel like I've earned at least somewhat of your entertainment, hit the, you know, you could donate $1. Any amount is more than enough for me. I appreciate it. You don't have to, though, if you don't want to. But other than that, appreciate everyone who's just here in general, you know, commenting in the stream and chatting and whatnot. Demaria's the one relaxing now. Do you smoke cigars? I used to smoke cigars on occasion. I'm not really a smoker. I'll do like vape stuff, but it's like I don't like cigarettes. I don't mind cigar smoke. Like I've tried like chewing tobacco. I don't think I'd ever would be willing to try a cigarette. I just like the smell of them disgusts me so much. But I didn't like chewing tobacco. Cigars though don't really bother me. I'm just not good at smoking them very much. I'm like, you know, I'm probably just like, you know, your average cigar normie of just the guy who smokes them every once in a while. And oh my god, is this guy gonna attack me again? I'm looking at you. Go away. This guy's just hanging out. I'm just like, I'm not trying to fight you right now, guy. Oh, thank you again for the $1.99 ice juice. I appreciate it. You're the champion tonight. Cigars, I mean, it's like I don't smoke them often. Like I haven't smoked a cigar in years. It's just it's nice on occasion. It's one of those things that's like you know, I couldn't see myself doing it more than like I said, of where it was before. Like I don't even really drink. The only time I would ever feel like drinking is if it's like at a certain occasion, or if I'm out of Dave & Buster's. You know, that's a different story.
Oh shit! You just busted a nut.
Like if Zareth won in the reset of the universe. I actually wondered, like, one of the things I thought was going to happen is, like, he was going to do it, but then Natsu was going to have to kind of go back with him and then make sure everything goes the way that that it does. Like, to make sure that the timeline progresses as it's supposed to, or, like, he doesn't let Zareth adjust parts that happen so everything kind of unravels the same. Can't smell smoke, especially weed. Dude, I love weed smell. I'm sorry, that one. Oof. I was driving around and kind of just stopped in the neighborhood the other day, and I was like, somebody's smoking weed out here, and I was like, man, I miss it. Like beer and chicken wings. Dude, you're making me hungry for chicken wings. I would love some solid buffalo wings. Oh, there's a dude right here I'm about to stalk. Oh, is he trying to come after me? You better not be, fella. I'm a good flyer. Ooh, yeah, he was looking at me. What these guys don't know is I'm a damn good flyer. Oh, there's another Alliance guy. You're not getting away from me, fella. Oh, he did. He grounded right before I hit him. Touche there. You don't drink or smoke. Doesn't really do anything. I mean, I smoke sometimes. Not like cigarettes, though. I don't really drink, though. I'm not a fan of, I don't like the smell of alcohol all the time. I'll drink alcohol if it's like I said, I like Dave & Buster's where it's like they do the really fun drinks so you don't even really taste the alcohol. It's the smell, too. It really fucks with me. It's like that fermentation smell. It's always really bothered me. Personally, I feel like it's because I'm